till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming. Here we go. 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. Sports money. Good to see you guys tonight. We're at Thursday. One more day till the weekend. 2 more sleeps until the UFC live stream pops off. And Saturday looks like it's lining up to be a banger. Calling sick from life. Get the internet going and get ready to watch. We got the Travers Cup rolling out there at Saratoga, followed up by a monster, massive late night UFC stream. Gonna be some fun. We'll put the bookies on the run by getting some cash stacked up tonight. See if we can't get her moving in the right direction. It's gonna be some fun talking about the card. You guys know what's up. It's Thursday. That means we welcome in Miggity Matt Daddy to give us his best looks out there cooking these books. Going to be a lot of fun bringing him in. Excited to talk about all things sports. Going to be fun. Speaking of all things sports, shout out to us again with another 4 of 5 legs of the player prop parlay cash. And we're smoking props. We're smoking them. Just haven't crossed the finish line yet. One lousy K away from making that cash. And I know a couple of you guys had talked about taking the outs prop versus the K prop. That was the right prop. Oh, man, it would have been fun to sweep it up and get that cash, but we didn't get there, sadly. Good day all around, though. You know, all in all, we found a way to stack it up and bring it home. So, you know, we'll look at some of these spots here. What do we have yesterday? What did we get involved with? How about the late ads? How about that Yankees? First 5 team total, full game over, never in doubt. What else did we have? What else did we have yesterday? We had the Nats. Remember that? East Coast, West Coast, you guys. Remember it. East Coast team loses as a favorite, or I should say it this way. The West Coast team wins as a dog. They're a dog again in the same series. It's now 0-20. Losing by average of 4 runs per game. How many did they lose by yesterday? 5. Now, sadly, we left about a plus 450 on the table, not taking that minus 4.5. So, it's okay. We got the Milwaukee over 7.5. Smacked it. Never in doubt. Tampa Bay gets her done. But Seattle busted up at the end of the night. Plus 160. You know, the good thing about it was a West Coast game. It was like 5-1 in like the 3rd or 4th inning. Fucking game over. You got a team that can't hit anyways. Get it out of here. Get it off the TV. Let me catch up on anything else that I needed to in the world of life. So that was fun. That was a fun day. I think I got them all in there. I think I mixed up. Wait, I might have missed the San Diego. Was San Diego yesterday? I got to keep better notes here, man. Shit has been all over the place. Lots of things happening in the world of sports money, you guys. Lots of new exciting things coming up here. I'm excited that we are designing our membership packages. We are designing some merch. We are designing some fall content and programming. We've got updates. So it's going to be a ton of fun. Just gotta make sure that we measure it out and get it in there appropriately. So I don't think, yesterday was the San Diego game because we faded Simeon Woods Richardson. So that sucks. I should have known when I saw the Dodgers on my notes from the day before, but let's get busy. You guys know the deal here. Hit that thumbs up button. Show the support. You guys have been doing a great job with that through these dog days this summer. We're turning it into the summer too. Remember, growing leaps and bounds galore. It's a lot of fun capping with you guys, cashing with you guys, and just put new things on the docket I know you guys are going to get excited about. So that's what makes it more fun. Look, we got to keep winning. We got to be consistent, but bringing more things to the table, more cappers wanting to get involved in what we're doing here, just makes it a ton of fun. So I know you guys are going to be excited about what we got coming up as well. You guys know the deal. Grab the pen and paper. Get it out. Let's go around the horn in the chat. Let's see what the sharpest goddamn chat in the universe is on tonight. That's where the cash is made. We've been grinding together for almost a year, Monday through Friday. I think with the exception of 3 days, maybe 3 days, maybe 3 days, Monday through Friday, every single fucking day since the middle of October. Go back and check. Go back and check. I do this because I love you guys and I have fun doing it. I'm making money. I'm going to be doing it anyways. I want to share it with you guys. Now, is it perfect attendance? No. I know Christmas was one of those days. I know New Year's was one of those days. I want to say the day after. I don't know. Now I don't know. Now I'm going to say it's the day after Christmas, I believe, was off as well. We didn't even take the 4th of July off, did we? No. We kept her running. Kept her running like a well-oiled machine. Matter of fact, I believe Thursday, the 4th of July, if I'm not mistaken, 4 shows? 4. They take it off. We step it up. Hashtag they not like us. God damn it. Let's do it, you guys. Let's see what's going on out there. Joe T's in the house. There's my homie holding it down, giving you guys not 1, but 2 fuck your under play of the days. We're sort of going head to head. It's got the Bears and the Chiefs. First half over 16.5. Okay. First half. Okay. Then he's going into the CFL. He's giving you guys the Roughriders and the Argonauts over 49.5. I get behind that. I get behind that one, Joe T. Shout out to you, Joe T. Keeping it real, my dude. Rocking and grinding with us on the regular. Gerald Jones in the house says his best bet. Mets and Padres over 7.5. That's a strong lean for me. I got some great numbers on that one. It's later in the day and I just haven't gotten a chance to thread the needle on that one just yet. NJ Strikers here. My dude. Stacks himself, Justin McKelvey. Little Ozuna over 1.5 bases out there in Hotlanta. Big NL East battle between the Phillies and the Bravos. Old E's in the house. What's up, Old E? Keith, each and every stride. The books are put on notice. Cool seeing you on, Mike. Let's get that cash. Man, shout out to my dude, Keith, each every stride. Guys, check him out. I retweeted some content that he's got out there today for the Travers Cup. So it's a big deal in Saratoga. There's only a couple of really big races, right? Travers, that happens to be the one that everybody talks about in my neck of the woods, in my nape of the way. They love the Travers. It's a big deal. The Whitney Stakes, big. Not as big as this Travers shit, though. Everybody gets excited about Travers. And our man Keith, each every stride, putting out his plays on the regular. But you want to make sure you check him out. A big horse scream day tomorrow. Shout out to Keith, each every stride. Brandon Whedon's in the house. Chris Sella, Mexican Elvis back in the house. Let's get butt rubbing. Mexican Elvis. Let's get butt rubbing. How about that? Can we settle on that? Can we meet in the middle? Kenny Wood, my dude. Good to see you. Let's go, man. Futon Betts likes George Springer. RBI. I get down with a little George Springer, a little Springer dinger. Why the hell not? That's going to coincide with the little action I've got tonight. Shout out to Trisha M. Says, hey, all. No plays yet today. We'll tail the chat. Trying to get the 6 home at Toga. Speaking of Saratoga, how about that? Trisha M. Making it happen. Good to see Trisha M. Winner's Circle. He likes that Bears over 16.5. Skiing 6+ Ks. Now there's a way to attack it. That's some creative action, my dude. 16.5, I'm assuming, is the team total. I believe I looked at that earlier today. and Skeen 6+ Ks. His Ks are set at 7.5 to the over. So he's buying that down as well. Oh, you know, I spent a lot of time looking at these books when I can I can start telling you guys where the lines were and how they've moved without even getting into it off the fly. Appreciate you, Winner Circle. It's great to see you, my dude. Skunt Blasters in the house. There he is. Says, what's up, fellas and ladies? I'll add the and ladies. And I'll say Skunt Blaster had himself a day yesterday. 5-1, I believe, was the action my guy brought down and smacked them books right across the face. Great job, Skunt Blaster. Ricky Levine says, how about those Tigers? How about those Tigers? How about KV? You know, I tell you guys, get the notepad out, right? Get the notepad out. She did. She was talking about some overs. Easy casher out there for Kelly V in the house. I'm not sure if she's in the house just yet. We'll see. But I know she cashed that over. Man, them Tigers, huh? It was an interesting look. Oh, I'm looking at fucking yesterday. I'm like, man, I don't remember seeing them getting busted up like that. They didn't get busted up. The Cubs busted them up. I believe that was the interleague. Kelly V, give me a hand with this one if you're there. It was the interleague. Game 2 is an under. Game 3 goes over, I believe was the trend. I believe that was the trend. Let me look. Let me fact check myself here. Where's my thing? Not that thing. Get your minds out of the gutter. I know where that is. Let's see. I don't have it written down here. I think that's what it was. We'll see if she can come back and validate it for us. My guy JPZ in the house says the afternoon drive with Mikey Money. Isn't there an afternoon drive somewhere? I don't know. Appreciate seeing my guy JPZ. Looking forward to him getting back in the lab, cutting up books. We know he came off a big W at the end. And first ever women's tennis play on the site official with an easy, no sweat winner for him. Old E says, went 5-1 last night. Isolated over 3 games, running real pretty. It's great to see, dude. That's great to see, man. We win in bunches. We're all seeing things pretty fucking clear. You know we're going to get some money from that when that's the case out there. DJ Hardy says, I like San Diego tonight. It's Dylan Cease night. A lot to like about San Diego. Jerry Davis says, I did great until Pepio couldn't get 6. Dude, you know, he had 3 at the end of the 4th, I believe. I was like, man, it's gonna be a sweat. Can he stay out there till the 6th? Which we had talked about. You know, him getting into the 6th. He did. He only got 5 Ks. Once again, 1 leg short. It's almost comical, right? But if we're playing them straight, we're making some cash. So best part about it is, I mean, some of the K props are a little bit pricey when we're buying them down like that, but these RBI numbers and these bases and the 1.5 hits, hardens, and RBIs, those are generally, minus 110s or plus money spots. So all good stuff. Old E says, Trisha M. Thunderstorms whacked us up here. Those FPL boys don't like rain. There's probably a lot to be said for that. JP says, last time that I checked, give him a little shout out to Nipsey. Chrisella, Skeen 6+ at a Nerfy, minus 110. Trish M says, sports money needs an HR department. Work holidays, weekends, no sick days or overtime. Hit the likey for Mikey on that record. Some of these days feel like they've been overtime, you know? Some of them do, in fact, feel that way. Jerry Davis, you may be going here, Mike, but I just found out that Severino's given up 4 earned runs or more every time he went 100 pitches. I got a trend for you guys on that over. Doesn't have anything to do with Severino either, which is excellent because that's going to be a little intersecting point that might just give me that little nudge over the cash it line there. Gonzo's in the house. Shout out to Gonzo. His model's running tight. He's getting it right. I see what you're doing, my dude. Let's go. Joseph Thompson says, Gerald Jones, regression still coming for Cease. I called it for the last 2 starts for him. I might bet that one. Bo Jackson says, salute pimp on my way to the Jays game. And he likes the Angels. What'd I tell you guys? What'd I tell you? A, he's got season tickets. Check. B, he's not a homer. He'll fade the shit out of him when he thinks the spot is right. Check. Wow. Bo Jackson, my dude, have fun at the game. And we'll talk a little bit about how I want to get paid in that game. I might have to add. That might have swayed me over the side there. JP said, I need some plays. Cashed all my morning bets. I'm leaning on Pimp in the chat to give me some evening plays while I make this 2-hour drive. Dude, it reminds me when I lived in Philly. At one point, I had a territory that was about 2 hours. And it was, if you were driving it at 2 in the morning, you could do it in 25 minutes. Man, getting out of work, though. Ugh. I'll tell you what was disappointing. The realization that most people want to leave work at 5 o'clock, right? You want to get the hell out of there. It took me just as long to leave work at 5 o'clock as it did as I left work at 6 o'clock. So just longer days. That's all that meant. It's all that meant. But that afforded me the opportunity to sit in the seat I have. So it is what it is. Peter Gracia says MLB slim list today. It is slim, but that's where we do our best work. Julian Cesario's in the house. Coin says, Servus has just been canned. Oh, Seattle. Well, the rumor on the street was they were going to shit can that guy. You probably should, right? They're hitting sub-2 batting average. Mexican Elvis. Pirates first pitch 30 minutes. Are we riding Skeens? And the Bucks, tough call. Phil the Kill says, I literally listen with pen and paper, compare and contrast with my own notes. That's great, dude. That's excellent work, you guys. We got to get to work, man. Let's see what we got here. We got JP says, what's up, Julian? I'm working off this massive job at LACMA. Jerry Davis says, Joe T, can Argos quarterback cluster get us to an over? Oldie says, Coin, interesting approach for Seattle. Julian Cesario says, Jay Peasy, what up? Damn, that's a drive. He's at Mount Sac. I don't know what Mount Sac is, but Jay Peasy likes Emma Navarro. Rounds out his parlay with the Yankees today. A little women's tennis action for Jay Peasy. Ricky Levine says, Pimp slap. Chiefs looking for a win today. Chiefs money line plus 105. Parlay to the Angels plus 120. $100 pays for 17. Be very curious to hear what our guy Mega Max says about that. In fact, I want to get the Chiefs today. I didn't go official with the Chiefs. I did not, but we will talk about the Colts game that I did go official with. Terry says, what's up, Big Mike? Cashed on the Nats and the over. Yankees and the A's lost on the Tigers. Not complaining. Let's get it. Yeah, listen. What is that, a 4-1 day? Dustin says, hope you're on the Reds, Mike. Well, let's talk about it. No parlay today. Just didn't have the time. There's a lot of shit going on today. And I'm not just trying to, look, it sucks that we haven't a 5-legger, but there's a reason that we're 80% every single time. It's the time, the effort and attention to detail. It's a smaller slate today. So there's no parlay. I'm not just going to put one out there to put one out there. I want to hit this fucking thing. Like going 80%, but I want to hit this thing. So we'll wait for our guy to get going, but I'll get rolling because as you have so eloquently pointed out, this Buccos game here, what the hell's going on? What's going on here? Fuck. I hate when I do that. Let me fix it by doing this. And we're going to do that. What's up, T-Mac? What's up, Robert Franklin? Joseph Alvarado. It'll be fun busting out what we got coming up for you guys. Going to be a lot of fun sharing what we've got working in the lab. More plays, more cappers, more ways to get paid. All at Sports Money. 6:40 p.m., the Reds and the Pirates are going to pop off here with a line that's got a pretty coin flippy situation. It's kind of that pros versus Joes. We've got a ton of cash bets coming in on the Pirates. We got a bunch of cash coming in on the Reds. 77% of the bets on the Pirates, 61% of the cash on the Reds. Now, this is line stabilization. This is what you don't get if you're not using the very first numbers to hit the street. Minus 146 moves to minus 148 for the Pirates. It shows a slight bump in their direction. Also, it's gone from plus 124 to plus 130 on the Reds. It's gone against them. So, it's truly pros versus Joes. Bets versus cash. Really looks like the action right where it is. Then we look at the total. It's gone from 7.5 to a 7. We got 96% of the bets on the over, 95% of the cash on the over. And you guys already said it. It's Skeens Day with that 2.3 ERA, a little 7-2 record hanging around his neck. Little Livy Dunn hanging around his waist too, I would imagine. Then we've got Nick Lodolo on the other side. Cincinnati Reds, 4.55 ERA. He's 9-5. Just general observations about this game and Skeens. We talked about this. I believe we talked about this last week with CMAC. These pitchers get into this pitch count, right? They're kind of not pitch count, but the count of pitches is probably the better way to phrase it. A certain number of pitches throughout the year that they've hit, and we start to see that we have to be concerned. Has their arm hit the ceiling? They don't pitch as much in college. They don't pitch as much in the minors. They get to the majors. It's a bit of an adjustment period pretty much across all professional sports that they have that first and second season that they really have to be mindful that they don't just tear the arm right out of the socket. And we're seeing some dip in the numbers across the board, the advanced analytics for schemes that support the fact that train's starting to come off the tracks a little bit. Probably going to continue to be a stud. But we need to be mindful of what he's been doing in his recent performances here. And, when you look at his recent performances, I mentioned the 7-2 with the 2.3 ERA. I got it. He is 4-1 at home. His ERA at home is 2.8. So slightly pitching better when it comes down to it on the road. But his last game, 6 innings, finally starting to see people get contact on this guy. 3 hits, 2 earned runs, one of them being a home run. He walked 4 dudes as well. Only had 6 Ks. Let me see what I got here. This is what I got here. Once our boy pops on screen, we'll go dualies here. But in the meantime, I like where some of your guys' heads are at. I feel like we found a way to maximize some of these potentials and squeeze as much juice out of the damn can as we can. Mexican Elvis says the pimped out Latino play of the day is the Pirates run line. The pimped out Latino play of the day. I can tell you guys this. We got a trend that does favor. We got 2 trends to look at here. One of them I factored into this equation. First of all, the 7.5. I'm not going to 7.5 with these young pitchers this time of the year. They're going to come down to 6. And I chose 6 because it still left us at that even money playing field. If we went to 7, mind you, his number's at 7.5. So if we take that hook out of there to bring it back to 7, it was like a plus 135. So there's pretty pricey weight on that single or that 1.5 Ks with a guy that's starting to show the advanced mechanics kind of falling apart, if you will, on the season. Kind of a big red flag for me. I'll give you the 2 trends I've got here. Divisional teams, longer than a plus 110. That is the Reds, are in a 2-17 spot if they lost the last game and change sites. Travel, off a loss, dog bigger than a coin flip. 2-17. Nothing stretchy. No big major reaches in that situation. Just a dog off a loss, changing sites in the division. Lots of contact against them. Books have enough metrics to say they should be a dog, and they're losing in those dog spots. Now, the margin that they're losing by is 3 runs a game. So the Latino play of the day, did I screw that up? The pimped out Latino play of the day, Pirates run line, certainly has some merit too. I'll say this one too, and then we'll bring our guy in. I see he's ready to roll. Team shorter than a plus 125 off a road loss or a 1-run win as a dog. 25, 6, and 1 to the over, going over by 2 runs per game. And on that note, let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend, the man that makes Tuesdays great. Mickey Mac Daddy up in this bed. What up?
What's going on Tuesday, Larry? Mikey.
Thursday.
Tell me these boxes. Tuesday again. Well, we'll fuck it up any day. Tuesday, Thursday, no problem, brother. For us.
I'm trying to
shout out to the chat.
I'm trying to get you on multiple days here. You know, I mean, I keep saying Tuesday. So
come on.
Eventually, when I ask you on Tuesday, you're going to be like, well, yeah, you've already said it 100 times. How's your day going?
I'm good. I had this A's Rays under. I didn't take the A's. I had them last night. They lost. Should have went back, but I'll take the under. That's my only play so far. What about you?
It's on the Cubs. I parlayed the first two dogs together. Just I wasn't in the groove. Didn't really like the spots that much either way, and I just kind of thought, fuck it, let me try to take a plus 500 on it. So no, but the Cubs busted them up real good, and away we go. But C-Mac, I know we got this Reds-Pirates game popping off here.
Shout out to the chat. Yeah.
Eager to hear what you have to say about this one. And then I want to take a little detour after we do that. So the floor is yours, my friend. I'm going to parlay together Skeens 6+ Ks and the Pirates to come out nice even score.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I've been, waiting on Skeens to give it up. And even that start with the Dodgers they got to him, I guess that's what you call it, Mike, because I tried to go against him a few times where I thought he'd get hit on the road or even at home against these Reds. That first start, it was this June 17th. I thought after his 3 or 4 starts and he goes out 6 innings, 1 run, 1 walk, 7 Ks. He's been really good. We'll see if he can keep going with the innings. I didn't catch you really. I was trying to get ready here talking about it because I believe it, because I think that's a little problem with Lodolo. He's never thrown more than where he's at right now. The minors, I think he had thrown like 103. He's already won 10. He had an awful outing. Now, can he get right here against a team that he knows a little bit, in the Pirates, which I don't really trust their bats at all? Shout out to everyone in here. I got Jay Peasy. I got to hit it up. Christopher, my dude. Jerry. Phil, the kill. Justin McElvey, as always. Stacks, which I heard. We'll get to the Braves. I am on Ozuna as well, my man. T-Max, Gun Blaster, as always. Bo Jackson, my dude. Shout out to Bo. Saturated, Old E. Shout out to all these people. Kelly. As always, shout out to Kelly. I have to admit, there's I'll hit it real quick. I don't mean to explain, but hitting the books. My guy Kelly retweeted. I appreciate that. New show, new channel. That'll be on Mondays with me and Mabano. But I appreciate the retweet and like, Kelly. If I had about 10 or 20 of you guys, or a few more of my friends, it'd be really great. But I'll get to this. Sorry on the drive. I'm going to be off. I like your bets.
By the way, that was my detour. I told you I want to cover this game because it pops off. Then I want to get to the detour. So,
okay. I'm going to be on here. We'll end this because we got to get rolling. I took Brian Reynolds here in this game. RBI plus 200. I've talked about him in that 2-hole, but still lately he hasn't had a ribby in a minute too. This offense hasn't been great, but he hasn't really fallen off. 280, 19 homers. But I love him from the right side. We talk about like Jose Ramirez, Mikey. I want these guys, and I think their power's that way. And I always a little bit with the 2-hole and the whole Pirates lineup. But Lodolo's struggling. RBI is 2-1 plus 200 and a little bit on the bomb. It's plus 700. I am on it in this game.
Love it. Love to hear it. Think there's going to be runs?
I don't know. I'm waiting for them to be. I think there could be runs in this game. What do you think?
I do. I think that over definitely has some validity.
I think there is. Yeah.
I think there's a chance. And look, since we did talk about it, we did bring it up. Maybe sometimes I don't do the best job getting the right retweet out there. I don't see a lot of Bono retweets on my accord. And
oh no, Mike, you're fine, my man. I'm not.
I keep fucking notes.
So there with you.
I keep notes.
You keep notes, so do I a little bit. I'm just saying, you're all right.
But I did post it.
We got hitting the books, which I think is one of the better college football things we've had going on. This will be Vano's 5th year doing it, 4th year hitting the books. I think it's one of the better shows on a Monday, early college football out there. I'll stick to it. I'll stick to what we've done and our record. So if you can go, like it, retweet it, you know how it is, Mikey. I appreciate it.
Listen.
Thanks for hitting it up.
Listen. What I've learned is it's very hard when you say you have something that is the best. It's absolute. You guys know math? It's absolute. It's bracketed in. Nothing gets in the way of it. And I'll shout these dudes out because I think they do have the best thing going when it comes to college football breakdowns, analysis, getting it out there early in the week. Do you have any fucking idea how tiring it's got to be? You just grind it out, 150 game Saturday slate. Maybe they threw some shit in there on Sunday. Plus, these guys are capping the NFL. And on Monday, religiously, the alarm clock can be set because you're going to get hit in the books talking about all things you need to do before you beat that line and get that cash. So make sure you guys check it out and support these dudes. They come out here on the regular. They give us their best looks for baseball, for basketball, for everything in the world of sports. I put the link in the chat, so make sure you guys copy and paste it. If you haven't gone out there, show some support, especially building the lifted takes from the community to build a new site. Keep the content flowing, but let people know you're doing it in a new place with a new jersey is all that much more fun. And we need you guys to support it. So that's my diatribe.
You're the man. We'll get to the next game. But that's all that channel is going to be. Just hitting the books, college football. We'll probably make a Twitter, and that's all it'll be. We'll cut up the games on a Monday because that's all that show is. That's what it is. We'll keep it to that. But shout out to everyone else in here. Zoe, what's going on? Trisha M, as always. Wanted to hit you up. Julian Cesaro, my dude. I appreciate that. As always, been around for forever. My man. Steven Harrison, always up in here. 1984. Oh, yeah, my guy. I got the shirt rocking. But, yeah, let's roll. Nice game, baby. Let's get it.
Onward and upward, our guy Bo Jackson. I told you guys, I think it was just yesterday. When this dude goes to the game, you pay attention to what he has to say because he's not a homer. He just likes baseball. Maybe deep down inside, he's optimistic that this Jays team is going to figure it out. I'm optimistic. I always used to like going up there, check out the Hockey Hall of Fame, a little Toronto game, stop at the Wayne Gretzky Sports Bar, all in that little corridor that is Toronto in the 6. But we've got a spot where this line's dropping now. Action coming in on the Jays. The line is dropping, minus 168 to minus 148. 86% of the bets and 80% of the cash on the Jays. 20 cents of drop. And a total that's got 93% of the bets and 93% of the cash on the over. And we got a game of who's who. C-Mac. We got Berkey for the Angels. He's rocking a 7.27 ERA. And we got Burr for Toronto. 5.40 ERA. What a battle we have on our hands here. We know that the Jays just had an explosion of runs against that Cincinnati Reds team. Over that series there, they lost 2 games to 1, but they still scored 20 runs over that stretch. So remarkable effort. On the flip side, the Angels, we cashed a big Angels spot in the middle of that Kansas City series here, C-Mac. But what do you think? We got a situation here. My first inclination, I got to take Toronto's team total over. 20 runs in the last 3 games. The bats are finally rolling around. The pressure of not being dog shit is gone because they realize they are dog shit. Things start to free up a little bit more. They swing a little easier from the hips. What do you think? Is there anything to be said for that? I got the over 4.5, and it's a minus 1.
Team total?
Yeah, for Toronto.
Yeah. I get it. I like, even though this lineup is kind of dog shit, we know Varsho. Vladdy's been great. He hit a homer 2 days for me right away. First inning, cashed it both. But these guys are playing. There's not a lot of stress for them. They're not going to the playoffs. They'd have to get unbelievably hot, which they're not, I don't think. And with these pitchers, I just see 2 dog shit teams, 2 dog shit bullpens. How do you not? These are sometimes when these games, it's just like everything seems so lined up. It's like when you just take it, it's like you take it with the over and then just, it couldn't happen because these lineups can go cold, but both pitching staffs are awful. That's the only way I could look at it. And also, Blue Jays winning some games lately with their bats, but even this price, no way. The team total's the way to go with that, Mikey, because no way am I taking them, laying that number. I'd be on the Angels or nothing at this price, for sure.
I absolutely concur. And what kept me off, like yesterday, I snuck in a first 5 Yankees team total over and a full game. I am pretty committed to the fact that Berkey can get lit up like a Christmas tree. But you mentioned that bullpen factor, and I've seen games where the Jays just come out flat. They just don't have that oomph in the bat. And by the end of the game with the bullpens, all things being equal, this number starts to get there. But I wasn't as confident in the first 5 over 2.5 as I was the full game. And then seeing our guy talking about being on the Angels, that kind of made me want to circle back and think about jumping in on the Angels here. I see the team total over 2.5 is -105 for the Jays, -140 for over 1.5 for the Angels there. Kind of a suspect little look. You could take 2+ runs. Both teams to score 2+ runs in the first inning or the first 5 innings.
Yeah.
Is +140. That's kind of another way that I thought about maybe threading the needle in that thing, but I'm just on the team total.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get a little action.
I get that if you want to thread it like you're talking about, but both these bullpens are just dreadful. Like the Angels have been better the last month of the year or around there. They've in the second half at spots, not fully, but Blue Jays have just been horrible. So even if there's kind of maybe like a 2-2, 2-1 game, we've seen runs with both these teams. I think that can get there, and it's the 9. I get to in baseball because in the end we break everything down, and it gets even more crazy with football. NFL and college is I'm betting numbers. The 9's a huge push number for me in baseball totals. It's just facts as I go through it every year when I go back through everything. So if you got an 8.5 early and you like this over, you had to feel good about it. Not that I'm like killing the 9 here, but that's all I'm trying to get. Yeah.
You know what? It's Bo Jackson brought up a good point that it escaped it was subconsciously there because I was thinking when the Angels, got swept there the last time around that I figured they're going to be playing him again in a series. So it's just a matter of them being able to go to exact some revenge. And so there's that little revenge narrative that kind of goes along with it too. But that'll keep us moving here. I know C-Mac will be back momentarily. Let's keep her up. We got the Phillies game. It's fucked up. Talk about my AL East team. Just so everybody knows, my AL East team, I've said it before, is the Blue Jays. I'm not a homer as much in baseball. Football, okay. Let's not talk about that right yet because I'll get all over these Eagles and tell you all about why. I also look at ATS numbers, but baseball, the NL East team for me is the Phillies. A little more passionate about the Phillies because I lived in Philly for, as you guys know, almost 10 years. And went to a shit ton of games right when Citizen Bank Park first opened up. That very first day I was there in attendance. So pretty cool thing going on. This line opened up, though, as a 64% Brave spot, but a 62% Phils spot. Cash coming in on the Phils. Bets coming in on the Braves. No movement. Kind of feels like that earlier game we talked about with Pittsburgh. And a total that's moved up to 8s. 93% of the bets and 93% of the cash, C-Mac. We got Sanchez. An interesting thought about Sanchez. When this pile of dog shit starts on the road for the Phils, they're 0-7 after they get themselves a little W. So difficult situation. We know this is certainly the third game of the series, but the Phillies did win that last game. Typically teams that are coming off a loss that have had more hits than their season average are 27-2 if they're going against a lefty in the last game of a series. So a little compound factor there. What say you, C-Mac? Do we see the Braves just roll over and fuck off? Or it sounds like with your Ozuna situation, maybe you're thinking there's a little life in that hot Atlanta opportunity out there to get some cash. What do you think?
Yeah, Kelly just put, of course, yeah, they play again soon down the stretch. We're going to see that. with a bunch of these division games.
Right.
This one I can't. The last 2 days, Mikey, under was it again? Cash, Braves, number one under team all year long. The bats haven't been great in this one. Sanchez on the road. As good as he was to start the year,
Right.
I don't trust him. And I don't trust him in this spot, really. And off a pretty good start was the Nats at home. But we saw him at Arizona. That last one give up 7. And we've kind of seen that in the second half of his starts. He's hit a good one, a bad one, a good one, a bad one. Another guy putting up innings when he hasn't been a starter this long or done this, as you know, being a Phillies guy. You know that. And Schwellenbach, the young kid here, I couldn't just get him right to start the year. He got ripped, he got sent down. I was just off with him. But I knew his stuff was electric coming out of Nebraska. And the last few starts have been pretty good. I was worried about he's been pretty good with his control. And he's a guy, strikeouts. If you want to look at a strikeout guy and going forward to bet, I'm sure this is a guy Sharpie's going to have penciled if he's going to be there regular, you know what I mean? Because he's a guy that strike out 8 to 10 regularly. And he's shown, what his last 5 here, 8, 11, 10, 7, and 8. And even before that, he had really good games where he did it. So maybe we can do it. I don't trust really the bats in this one. We cashed Saturday, Ramon Laureano, Mikey. Another lefty with Sanchez. I kind of like it with him. There's no one else. Duvall's a guy that hits lefties as well. Sean Murphy, but none of them really have come through. I moved on Ozuna here in this one. I took the price was too good. He's just 2 for 4, but I think he's got a homer off Sanchez. If you're going to be on a guy at this price, it's it with him, I think, because I think Sanchez gives up a few. And it sucks, Braves, as we were right in the last month, as we hadn't used the guy forever. Austin Riley, then he gets hit. He's going to be out, another month? So, yeah, he's out of that lineup. But Harris is back, but I'm on Ozuna in this one. I put a little on his homer. I believe it's right around 420 for the Jack. I have to double check
Sounds like a great price for it as well. We got some great comments in the chat too. Jay Peasy coming through, talking about him being 4-8 on a Thursday. And let's not forget where was it here? Dale Fick. My dude Dale Fick. Sanchez just pitched 9 innings last time he got. Yeah. You guys know my philosophy. Not just my philosophy. I don't own it, but I certainly subscribe to it when these guys go deep, except for Cease, because Cease is
there's a few others too. And he didn't go crazy. I mean, he still even hit 100. I mean, it's right there, 99. But yeah, just a phenomenal home start. One he kind of really needed, even though I thought his start before that against the Dodgers was solid. I think he was in LA even. It was pretty good after he had finally a few bad ones. So, yeah, I think he could get touched a little bit. Tough to trust this Braves team, though, and their bats. That's why I've loved their unders and been on them so much. They've just been being an unbelievable cash cow for me all year long.
So I wanted the 8. I got an 8 earlier. I paid up for an 8. But then two of my books took down 8, 7.5 was there. There was no 8, and then they had the 8.5. So the books don't like that 8. I tried to get that into this little same game parlay action for the Atlanta and under spot. I mean, C-Mac nailed it on the head. You want to look at Schwellenbach's spots as well. 11-1 to the under in his last 12 starts. I mean, the guy's out there firing. The average score we're seeing 3.7 to 3.4. 7 total run type of situation. 5-0 to Schwellenbach at home. And the Braves are 9-1-1 at home to the under on their last 11 Thursday games. So, a lot of love for the under. Don't have to be rocket scientists here to talk about that. Seems like a really good spot here. I am going to take that chance with Atlanta. I mentioned that situation with the, kind of fading Sanchez here, but I want the full game. I don't want just the first 5 in case, trying to lean on this guy and he does kind of go out there and keep it tight, then the under's in play. But if we can't find a way to get to Sanchez, then I want that bullpen in play for this Phillies team. So a little double dipper action. I got this thing up to an 8.5. So it's a full run extra on what the books are kind of hanging out there right now. The Atlanta spot was -110. and then the Atlanta and under plus 195. So I thought there was a little
value. That lineup's been cold. Yeah, I think there is too. I mean the Phillies. You know, they had one explosion there against the Nats the series before, but even in Arizona, like they won that first game, they lose 11-1, 12-5, lose 5-0. And the last three they put up, you know, even in a couple wins, 3-5, they lost 4-6 and then 3-1. You know, but that lineup is so, when they get going, you know how good they are. Like, you know, we'll see them in the postseason. So I mean, of course, they could explode at any time.
Red October, baby. Can't have Red October if they're not in the postie there. So need a little post job to make it happen and have some fun with it. But let's have some fun with this one. We got the Cans versus the O's. C-Mac.
Oh, real quick, I got the best number. I think it was
for Ozuna.
BetMGM. It was plus 425. Yeah, BetMGM was the homer, and I had Bet Rivers plus 160 for the RBI. Best number. Just I'm gonna throw that out there, which I have. So, but there's a lot of 145s and stuff like that, 140. So we'll just put it in the chat. Yeah, Christopher.
All right. I like this.
Just giving you what I like. Real quick.
Yep.
And it's not far off. Take it the 1.5. You know, plus one right around there, 125, 130. So get that if you're more into the 1.5 bases, which I am too for certain guys in certain spots. But with Ozuna, he's the big stick. You know what I mean? So it's
He's certainly been the big stick against Sanchez here. 4 at-bats, 2 hits for a 500. This is where I love that under, though, because you look at the rest of the squad, just blanks across the board. Normally, I like to try to fade or stay away from hitting props when you got a game against lefties. But I think when I was on Sharpie Show last Tuesday there, I think I took every game against a lefty pitcher, and I ended up going 4-0. So I think I got to readjust maybe some of the way I weight some of those factors out there, because when it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Well, the guys that hit lefties, because you know who eat them. When I'm a right my whole life, and I could hit. I love lefties, and especially if they're running hot, guys that aren't. But that's what I love to roll through. That could consistently have done it through their career, whether it's the minors, and then you know, if they're running well, their numbers against, you know, the whole spiel goes when we look through this, Mikey.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we got the trash cans, in case you were wondering who the cans were. Something that just dawned on me as I was typing it in. I was like,
the bangers, the cheaters.
The cheaters, the bangers, the cans against the O's, who have been trash cans as of late. And we got ourselves a little situation here in the AL that's getting heated. Big time heat firing up right now. Baltimore started off, as everybody knows, the way they ended. Just running, gunning, doing everything but banging the trash can. And then on the flip side, the Astros, you know, these guys have definitely gone Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, vice versa. You know, you can't see. Have you ever seen both these teams winning at the same time? Have you? And now here we go. They're playing on the same time. Minus 168 for the O's, now minus 152. Fucking numbers today. 79% of the bets on the O's, but 57% of the cash on the Stros. Then we got a total that's not moved as well. 91% of the bets and 84% of the cash. Tons of cash coming in on the run line here. 85% of the bets and 80% of the cash on the run line for the O's, suggesting that Burns, with this 3.1 ERA and a 12-5 record, takes out Spencer Spaghetti, the old noodle arm, 5.21 and 5.11 on his season. C-Mac, I went back and forth with this fucking game all day, and it was a function of the fact that I wasn't in love with the later game. I liked the spots I had earlier. It was like, which of these next two games was I going to get invested in? And man, these numbers are wacky. The pros versus the Joes, the overs, the unders. Uh-huh. What do you think is going to happen here? Are we going to see a shootout, or are we going to see a lower scoring game? What do you think, kind of first and foremost? Are there runs, or is it tight?
Well, everything that I go through here is that it's tight. Yeah. And low scoring is in the under in this one. Now, there's a few other things making me maybe look at the over. Just Burns hasn't been great, but I think he bounces back. Baltimore, talk about the Braves were the best under team. This O's team all year long, especially the second half. I know the last 10, they're only 3-7 to the over, but before that, kind of like the Padres, they went on a rip. They went 13-2 something like that, to the over. And they're almost 60% to the over all year, are the O's. But you got to think, like Burns, this is what a game where he bounces back and pitches well. And I'm afraid of these lineups going off. I get why you're going back and forth and looking at everything in this one. I still only be on the under. Arrighetti, and he's a little bit of a wild card. He's starting to get innings, and he's been a lot better. The last start was the White Sox. He got hit, gave up 4 runs. But from how garbage and everyone wanted to fade this guy, but he's a guy that had really good numbers and was a good prospect. It just takes some time. Some of these guys get ripped, right away. They see him, and he needs time to settle in. And I think he could pitch well in this one. Or I'm worried he could, he gave it to 4 of the White Sox. He could get hit. And the Orioles haven't been consistent. The bats, as it shows, in the last 10. They just haven't, put up a ton of runs and haven't been great. A lot of these guys have been on a lot of skids. Henderson's finally get going. Santander a little bit. I've cashed with him once or twice. But Rutschman, bad. Yeah.
Henderson has been straight up MIA up until about a week ago after the All-Star.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was nowhere to be found. And all of a sudden, he's starting to come back to life.
Yeah, these guys just have been struggling. Mullins' problems all year. Flashes, Mountcastle, and Rutschman really, I think they get going and are fine. But it's tough to take the Orioles at this price, and I can't. I know it's Arrighetti on the road. I had to take the Astros here. I got plus 140 with the price. I had to do it. Maybe that's a little bit of the sucker bet because you're talking about pros with Joes with this game, whether it was the money line or the total. There's a little bit, I think, with both. Astros off the back-to-back losses. Right before that, though, they had ripped off 7 of 8, playing really, really well. And, this is a classic spot. But I think it's more low-scoring if Bird pitches well, and I think the Astros could win here. And that's what I took him, plus 140.
Yeah, I ended up on the Astros after I evaluated kind of all the sides, all the spots I wanted to get involved with. This is what it came down to for me. I've been talking to you guys for the last, it feels like 2 months, maybe more. The 2 or 3 number, right? The 2 or 3. It's hard for pitchers to string together more than 3, strong or shitty performances. At some point, they're just
depending on the pitcher. Yeah.
Depending.
Yeah.
It's also difficult for teams to put together 2 or 3 or more type of situations because of things like the series changes, because they're changing locations, because they're playing divisional teams so frequently in the scheduling. It's tough to put all those pieces together. And what we got here is a team that's on a skid. You took the words right out of my mouth when you talk about the Astros. A 2-game or bigger skid, a total that's less than 8.5. The Astros are perfect in a 12-0 position. 12-0 for the Stros. This just felt to me like all the things that we mentioned on the forefront of this game here. When you look at, this is their time of year. They're starting to step up. The O's have fallen off. This is kind of, they peaked maybe a little too early. The 2 factor with this team being in that time of year and then getting this tremendous price. The last piece that kind of pushed me over the end was, and I've talked about it, feels like we've taken some L's on it, but AL East teams, you take them on the road. You don't take them at home. And that was the last piece for me. I thought the value, this is one of those spots where the value for me, the price on this thing is outrageous. Kudos to you for getting the plus 140. This is a coin flip game, and you're getting extra 25, 30 cents to your dollar because of how the books price this thing.
Because of Burns, how they're playing, and Burns on the mound at home after a shit start. And that's why it could be tricky. But sometimes, this value spot right here. Right? And if he pitches a gym, which I think he pitches better. Last time he faced him was in Houston, I think like 2 months ago in June. He wasn't horrible. He gave up 4. But he's been good all year, Burns. And he's a very great pitcher. But, getting hit a little bit lately. Jordan, too. 2 for 5. He's got a couple of homers. If you want to look at his way in this game.
How about Yanir? Did you mention Diaz? Did you say my guy Yanir?
I like Diaz. Yeah.
Him
and Bregman have been the best for me in that lineup. Because I'm not a guy who takes Jordan. Like today, he's got great value, I think. It's a small sample size. He went 1 for 4. what was it? 3 days ago, he went 3 for 4. But his prices are always usually a little bit too far for me, even his RBI. Like, not all the time. But so I don't usually am on him. So Diaz and Bregman have been just, both those guys cash cows for me. Money.
Here's a guy to keep an eye on. I'm going to throw the name out there. Let's just have a little fun and keep our eyes on this guy at plus 260 and plus 1,050 to get a home run. The 160, or I'm sorry, two plus for the RBI, 1050. A little Caratini action. A little Caratini sitting in the 5 spot. I love the RBI number for this guy. First of all, he's the catcher, right? So we don't necessarily get it. Now, obviously, Adley Rutschman would have something to say about catchers not being able to go perform. But the guys in front of him, he's got Altuve, Bregman, Alvarez, Diaz, all in front of him. It feels to me like he gets the RBI, and it's a free roll that he doesn't try to get a home run out there. Over 10-1 your cash on this dude. So I'm going to keep my eyes on that guy. I might start to keep a closer check, especially with him being in the 5 hole. He's hitting 400 against Burns. He's got 5 at-bats, 2 hits, a home run, and 2 ribbies out there against the dude. So him and Alvarez.
Someone put in the chat. I don't want Bregman today. He's 0 for 7, but I mean before that he's been red hot. That's all I was getting at last month, and I've been on him multiple times to cash.
Okay. Shout out to Kelsey. I see her in the chat. She says nobody on the shit list. Well, the Angels owned and earned the right to stay there for the majority of the second half of the season.
They're your favorite team. They're your favorite team, Mikey.
Let's go. We got one last baseball game. We got some NFL. We got some CFL. We got to keep this thing moving, pick up our pace just a touch for you guys. Last game on the Major League docket, this Mets and Fathers spot out there. And we're looking at a spot where the Padres, 146 now minus 158. Almost again, 78% of the bets on the Padres, but 61% of the cash on the Mets. Some of that seems to be later money. And I think the thing I'm looking for this game is how much more cash comes in as we get closer to game time, and what does that number do? Because now I can see this thing being a potentially coin flippy game, and the sharps are just coming in buying the number. So that doesn't necessarily mean that I want to be on that side of it. But 7's moved to 7.5. We got 96% of the bets, 96% of the cash on the over. I've seen quite a few boys and girls in the chat talking about the over. Seems like the general consensus is Luis Severino's going to throw himself up. And we've got Dylan Cease out there that might not perform as well. You guys see the numbers on the screen. Severino's got that 3.91 ERA. You see Dylan Cease has got the 3.46 ERA. The Mets may forever burn in hell. I've probably told the story before about Mike Piazza and that little Russian dog. And that's what I think.
Tell us again. Wait. Tell us again. I haven't heard it. Tell me about it.
When I lived in – so it's ironic that this is coming back around, because the place that I lived when I was 2 hours away from my territory in Philadelphia was in Bucks County. And I was living with a friend that I had worked with. He had a 3-bedroom condo, and it was just him. So I was like, why not, dude? So we hung out. We were drinking buddies and everything else. And he was the guy that he made mixtapes, mixed CDs for ladies of Gentleman's Establishment. And he also was dating this little Russian smoke show. I don't want to get off the rails here, but she was a smoke show. But she had the worst fucking attitude in the world. And not only that, but she had this tiny fucking dog. The thing was this big. And it constantly was nipping at me, yipping at me. I mean, I'm an animal person. I get along with dogs. I give them bones. I got to kick them in the back, I will. But no, I'm just kidding. But anyhow.
Said I give them bones?
This girl was, my buddy was her side piece, because during the season, she was dating Mike Piazza. So there was a couple of instances where she got picked up at the house by Mike Piazza. And it was quite a lot of fun. The dog got left behind. And that little fucker took a big shit.
You're left with the dog.
Yeah, fucking.
Well, my Piazza's taken.
My there too, because she got picked up by Piazza. And he was left there because she was hanging out with him at the time. So scandalous little vixen, little monster fucking dog. And every time I see the Mets, I think of Mike Piazza. Not to mention, obviously, the NL East rivalry. So it was a big deal, like when they were coming to town. My boys had.
Well, he could have used the press too, because they used to call Mike Piazza gay. So he could have used some cameras. I remember all that. Yeah.
Let me tell you this: they weren't picking each other up to go get coffee, and she was a smoke show. I think I mentioned that. So maybe they were getting coffee. Maybe they were. I guess I don't really know that for sure. But anyways. I don't know how he got
Mikey. All right. Well, I had to hear it. Yeah, you can't be throwing around Russian little dog Piazza stuff around here. Come on.
Oh, I got a couple cocktails in me. I'll go into more details. Dustin says he's got a car dealership in Limerick. Dude, so my sales territory literally was the
Yeah, he's from there. Yeah. Yeah, right.
So I ran up from Malvern on the northeast, or from the main line in Philly, all the way up into Pottstown. And kind of that whole 420. Now that thing, I've been down there again since then, and it's just a monster with all the improvements and everything that's taken place, the outlet malls and shit like that too. But yeah. So there you go, 422, Dustin. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, we got to get back to work, guys. We got this Mets and Padres game. A couple more cocktails, and that story would have been even more animated. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing I haven't had any cocktails yet. But C-Mac, I don't know where I left off on this thing, but I'll tell you this. The big, strong over trend to the over in this game. San Diego Padres 12-2 to the over when they're at home after a home over. So staying in the same location, they like to go back and get her done again. Road Dogs, whose starting pitcher went all 9 innings, allowed less than 5 hits, have gone 28-13 to the over. So there's that theory that we talked about last game out. The over, do these guys back it up and continue to run and gun, or do they get beat up like a Never mind. I'll finish the rest of that statement here. The story or the floor is yours. Whatever you want to talk about, my dude. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is not easy one. Travel spot for the Mets after the Orioles. That's why this one was a back and forth for me, Mikey. Your stats you just gave out. I've been looking up, and the Padres have been money for me lately, even at home to the over, where some of these have just been too low. The last 3, I was on 2 of them with the Twins. I was on the Twins yesterday, but the over, the other 2. And before that, they had a little stretch, the Pirates, those games in between, where they kind of had some unders, and they're only 6-4 the over last 10. But right before that, they had that crazy number where they went on the road, and it seemed like every game was 9-6, you know what I mean, 8-7. Where they were winning them and going over. But I disagree. I think this is an under type game. Just the travel spot. Mets don't score a ton of runs. If you do it, you like the Padres here at home. Who just put it in the chat? I don't have the chat up here anymore. I have it down here. Their team total. Dustin, he says Jimmy the Bag likes it. Yeah. Severino, though, has been excellent. You know where he's been really good? Where I think there's a little value. Tough spot for the Mets, but if he can pitch well, he's been great first 5. 10-3. He's not quite there, but he's like, 5th or 6th all year long. He's been unbelievable as in first 5. So I think there's value with the Mets right around at first 5 a little bit, plus 145. And because I think it's low scoring. So this is maybe 1-1. You get, the worst to push in this regard. And you look on the other side, Jackson Merrill's been great. Even the loss yesterday, it's a homer. He's cash. He's been very, very good. Arise, I like in this game too. A few more. Machado. Not great average, but I think he's got 3 homers in this one. But I think he has a little bit of value. He's 4 for 8. Lindor has 3 homers here off Cease. I think Cease pitches well here again. That's why I like the under. But JD Martinez, 4 for 8 with a double. I don't think there's a lot of runs, but put a little something on his RBI. Plus 230 here, Mikey. I'll have something small in the homer, but plus 230, JD Martinez, Ribby. Might not be a ton of runs, as I like the under, but I got to take that. There. Ribby, JD Martinez.
I could see a little of that.
Huge plus price.
I told you guys I was coin flipping between which of those last 2 games was I going to get involved with. And hang on just a minute here. Well, I wish Nasty Nate was in here. It's okay. Anyways, coin flipping. Which game was I going to get involved with? I chose the other side for a reason, being that I was on that last game versus this one, because I just didn't want to have to trust these teams to get an over. I mean, they should, right? They should get there, but this low number kind of pegged at me and said, okay, I just been in a spot where I've trusted totals on the Mets games before, and they just let me down. I mean, it does line up. It almost lines up too perfectly for me with the fading the guy after going deep. We got a team that's been hitting the overs. They like to go over after they're at home. It's just a little gun shy to pull the trigger on it. So I like it.
No, you're not going to go 7.5. Yeah, the Machado. Yeah, why is this moved to 8? Pitchers, you think?
Yeah, I think recency bias with both these guys speaks to why they're sitting at 7.5s. And that bothers me too. Why is it in an 8? Why, if it was an 8.5, I'd be banging the over without a question. But it's 7.5. It's not a spot where I feel like I'm getting value. It's a spot where I feel like something's a little screwy here.
And the over 7.5 is like even money now.
Yeah,
most books. Some like even circa here, it's even money.
We're talking about a 7. I mean, essentially, we're looking at what this line's going to be, a 7 or with a 7 juiced type of situation. I just don't want any part of that total. Pass for me.
Yeah, I mean,
how about that? Network rate.
Really, Mike?
Yeah.
Pass. Over still. Even
now, the whiskey's going to get flowing. Things are going to get going. And I may go out there and post the same game parlay in that spot. So stay tuned.
Is he out of the lineup? Are the lineups out? I mean, we do this early. So
who are we talking about?
Are they even posted yet? Yeah, he's not in the lineup. Well, we're not. Yeah, he's not in. So scratch. I do this all before. We're 3 hours before. They probably just put that out too. Then that lineup. Yeah, so that's just a scratch for me. I love the under even more.
I would take a hit. This is just off the cuff. As I'm going to look at this, this is going to be the direction I consider for my same game parlay. Lindor to get one hit at least.
Okay.
Fuck Nemo. Every time I play that guy, he just does nothing but screw me. I'm going to take both. I'm going to take Cease's K prop. I'm going to buy it down and take it over. I'm going to be looking at Machado in some form of actual production, whether it be run, RBI, or even the home run to try to juice the thing up. And I'm going to probably look at the first 5 under and maybe a nerfy. Just thinking out loud on what it's going to look like. I'm going to get in there and we're going to craft it. That's just a broad brush.
Well, in this game, I look at Nemo if I were to take anyone from the Mets side. And he said Lindor. But the 2 Padres I talked about either. I don't mind the Machado, Merrill, or rises over maybe 1.5. If you want to look that way, if you think the Padres score some runs. And as long as you have plus right around 110, guy can hit. He hasn't had a 2-hit game too since August 16th. I think he's due.
God, I would rather have Nemo hit
me
with a bat like I'm a baby seal than.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
Every time I
actually, he's been all right for me. I've hit a couple where he's hit a homer or 2. Nothing crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't find the spot for that guy. Maybe it is today. Watch it be today after I talk shit. This is where they hear me. They're listening to the show and they hear me, and they're like, "Fuck this guy, pimp slat. I'm going to show him." And he goes out there and he strikes 3 home runs on 4 hits today. How about that? C-Mac, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Baseball's red hot. I've been running red hot, so I can't complain. Let's get to football.
It's been good. Let's talk some football. We got 2 games for the preseason tonight. We got the Colts and the Bengals, the Bears and the Chiefs. I've got action in one of these 2 games. Let's start with the 8:00 game. It's the first game on the board. And there's been huge movement to the Colts, 2.5 to 6.5, now 7s. 65% of the bets, 84% of the cash on the Colts. Then we look at the total, and it's fallen. Much like the preseason has been cashing unders galore. It's gone from 36.5 to 34.5. Even some places showing a 33.5. We got 56% of the bets, 67% of the cash on the under. The Bengals winless in their first 2 preseason games. To me, the Bengals just don't give a fuck. 17-14, they lose to, not just to me, but they lose 17-14 to Tampa. That was, I think, the only game Joey Burrow got any kind of action whatsoever, or that game would have probably been even uglier. They get busted up last week on the road against the Bears, 27-3. We'll talk about the Bears in the next game, but Jesus, that pass rushing defense for the Bears has got everybody on notice right now. I think they got, was it 9 sacks just for the second and third stringers? I mean, it's absurd, the pass rush those guys have put out there. On the flip side, the Colts. What do we know about the Colts? Big deal. You know what? Your boy cashed it. Anthony Richardson to be the quarterback drafted first by the Indianapolis Colts. I think that thing paid like plus 800. I was a fan of him, but he kind of has a little of that, can't really throw it, so I just kind of stretch plays out with my legs feel to it. And although he won't be playing in this game, I think the reality is there's a lot of guys auditioning for second and third stringer positions. Does that make it deep enough? This training camp, this camp between these two teams, because it's that last week and they're playing each other in a lot of these scrimmages and things like that, have been mired with physical activity, fighting between players on the same teams, fighting on the other side. Colts and Bengals, C-Mac. Any thoughts on how this game goes down tonight?
No, you have a bet in this? You didn't say anything.
Yeah, I do. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to play on this under. I think this under. I know the numbers dropped. You know, I see it. I got 2 eyes. The thing that concerns me a little bit is the Colts. The Colts 34-30 against Denver, but again, being the first week, I don't know. I guess I'll dismiss it a little bit here. It's 21-13. I would be concerned about the defense being able to rise to the occasion because the Bengals shouldn't have any offense out there whatsoever for this game. The question is just how many Colts players who I think are jockeying around for position show up. Probably that first half. Joe T, like the first half over. I could see that. 16.5. It's come down from 17.5. I could see the first half going over. I still think by the time the third and fourth stringers go in there, they're just absolute dog shit trying out for special teams positions at best. So I like the under. I got the under 34.5 in this game. Has that got any merit? Can I get you in there?
Hey, the unders, you know, that's on preseason. You go wrong with it. You know what I mean? This game is like, you know, they're just playing for jobs, these backups, I think, in this game. Because I don't think, the Bengals really give a shit about it. And I think the Colts take care of business. Do you want them now as a touchdown, though? Now they're baiting like, no way, no how. If you got in earlier and you really liked them, great. But there's just no way in a preseason game I'm laying a touchdown in this one. Yeah, and I kind of lean under. This is one that I didn't, when I looked at earlier, I was like, I don't want nothing in this game. So
I would be surprised if this game gets out of the mid-20s. I'd be surprised. I think the way things got so heated during practice this week, the feeling has to be, let's get these guys out of here without getting anybody hurt. Let's not let things escalate to a point that they're suspended for the first week of the season. And they play a little bit more puss safe, as the kids say these days. Puss safe. Oh,
never heard it.
Have you ever heard a kid say puss safe?
No.
No, me either. I don't know why I said that. I guess I lied to everybody right here on screen. I'm sorry. The kids aren't saying that.
Come on, Mike.
Don't start that rumor. But we got the Bears and the Chiefs, C-Mac. The Bears and the Chiefs. Here's another spot where we got some line movement. The Bears, 64% of the bet, 67% of the cash in this game. 35.5 on the total, down to 32.5. 59% of the bets, 67% of the cash. I didn't have a play in this game. I looked at this game and I just thought, yuck. Yuck. You know, you got a Bears team that has back-to-back wins. Of course, they handled Buffalo and they handled Cincinnati. I talked about that. They fucked me that first week in the Hall of Fame game because of the rain. Preseason Warriors apparently out there. They're the new Baltimore Ravens. On the flip side, the thing that concerned me about this game, C-Mac, and I don't want to overstep here, but this is a spot where Andy Reid has got history behind him of resting defensive starters across the board. He did it last year in week 3. Just didn't want to play anybody. So offensively, do we see, Carson, piece of dog shit, fucked Philly with that second overall draft pick, Wentz go out there and play? I don't know. But the last year's week 3 was disgusting, and then some. They gave up 32 points in that game. So I didn't want to be involved in the under because I thought, to me, if they are going to give that up and they're going to let up 32 points, the Bears could cover that on their own. The Bears, though, at this point, they're probably in the same position because they had so much turnover, because they were so poor last year. They start this season off, or this preseason to kind of close they started off hot because they had guys trying out for first and second round positions, and they had or first and second team positions.
Yes.
And they had enough draft picks early to be able to get better talent than just the guys across the line of scrimmage on them. But now, what are they left to? They're left to fill preseason holes and third string positions. Are we going to get the best Bears game here, C-Mac? I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a wild year to take the Bears, but I think, this is like them going and, a lot of guys are going to sit. He talks about on the opposite side of the ball. And all these guys now have a little different, the extra game last year, how they play game threes, these teams, which you got to, just dive into it and look at it a little bit. But I don't think the Chiefs give a shit about this game at all. I think the Bears are all super, super hyped up. Maybe they win it. They're -2. I'm not even crazy about that. I think the game's probably close. So, I want nothing here. This game's dropped too. Is this getting too low? What do you think?
Yeah, I do think.
I think it might be a little too low.
The Bears, what are we?
And I love the unders. Yeah.
Right. The Bears scored 17 or more points each of their preseason games, yada, yada, yada. But the thing that scares me I want to take the Chiefs. If I was going to take a side in this game, if you gave me the free bet and you said, where's your money?
I get it. Yeah.
It wouldn't even be on the money line. It would be on the +1, talk about being put safe. And why +1? Because, now I guess it's 2.5, right? Now it's 2.5. So
there's even a couple 2.5s. Yeah.
And DraftKings hanging that 2.5. I would rather have the points than not. But my concern is that, like I mentioned on the onset, the Bears fucking defensive pass rush, even with their second and third stringers, are going to be a force to be reckoned with. And they have to be. If you think about kind of how that division is set up, who do you have to go after? Well, you have to go after, Jordan Love, right? You got to get him on his heels. You got to get him moving. So they've been drafting to go after the top of the chain. You don't got to worry about Minnesota anymore because they just imploded completely in the preseason. But then you got to go after Jared Goff running the offense, right? Or no, I'm sorry, Matt. What's his name? Matt Stafford, right? And you can't let this guy stand in the pocket. No, I'm flipped off. It's Jared Goff. I'm flipped off with the Detroit Lions, though. And so you got two, quarterbacks that should at least be top 10, if not top 5 guys when the stats come down at the end of the year. You got to draft a defensive line to go hammer those boys. And so that's what we're seeing all the way across first, second, third, and even those fourth stringers now for the Chicago Bears. And they've got the stats to go prove it. If you don't believe me, look it up. Carson Wentz, ever since his knee exploded in that Philadelphia game, he hasn't been the same guy. And who's going to go in besides Carson Wentz? I just don't like this game at all, but I would rather have the points than not. But like I was going there with the defensive pass rush, does that mean there's a lot of turnovers? And that drives this game to the total as well because they're getting short field. It was just too tight a call for me to decide one way or the other. Free play, I would take the 2.5 with the Chiefs.
Yeah, and I'll just say it. I know you said this earlier, right? A couple weeks ago, you are Bears over 8.5.
Fuck yeah! I love it even more now.
The schedule. Damn, I like it. He's a hyper. The schedule is solid for them. No way. Under 8.5. They don't win 9 football games. The most they win 8, and that's the most. So we'll see at the end here, Mikey.
I mean,
Bears win 9-10 games. I know that the division. I just don't buy it.
It's a cupcake division. It's an absolute cupcake fucking division, and we'll see. That's why they play the games. I bet you every team splits their divisional games 1-1, and because of the strength of their schedule, they got 4 games inside their division. Maybe they sweep the Minnesota team. That puts them at 5. All they got to do is go out there and get 4 more games through the next 12. I love those odds. They just got to win 30% of their non-division games. If I did the math right, yeah. Free money. Anyways, the CFL, Saskatchewan Roughriders, Toronto Argonauts, C-Mac. This game's going to pop off in 10 minutes. Let's be a little more succinct here. I'll be a little more succinct, a little less verbose when it comes to talking about this game. How about this, C-Mac? I'm taking Toronto. Give me the Argonauts. This line's down to 1.5 as well. So it's been a little it's interesting because these two teams played. They got, the Argonauts got smoked, right? But as I was looking at these teams and I was looking at, they lost by over a touchdown, I believe was the final. It just was. Since then, we haven't seen much out of Saskatchewan. I call them Saskatoon. Defensively, they're just atrocious. And I think that this total speaks to that because it was 48.5, 49.5. Joe T's F your underplay of the day is the over on this game as well. He's got that. And now we're up to 50 on DraftKings.
I think if you got under 49, that's a good move.
And to me, we look at this home road splits across whatever reason these CFL teams can't come on the road and perform. The Argonauts are 4-1 at home this season. They're on a revenge spot from just a month ago and getting trounced. And, you look at Saskatchewan, I mentioned their defense being ugly. They're on a 4-game losing skid on their last 4 games as well. So not to mention they're 0-2-1 on the road this year. Saskatchewan is so not traveling well. Then I was looking and I saw, surprisingly, I don't know what's up with the West, but Saskatchewan sitting the top of the West with a paltry record of 5-4-1. And then on the other side of things, the Argonauts, they're kind of sitting in the middle of the pack, trying to make it happen. 5-4, these Argonauts are. But I thought this line, after the trouncing they took, but then coupled with the poor performance, the line to me said this is an Argonaut spot. They want you to take Saskatchewan at plus 1.5, thinking they already beat them. There's no way they lose again or they lose this game, but I think they do. I think this is an Argonaut spot. I'm on the Argos. Just the money.
Yeah, I think so too. And Saskatchewan just is hit the shits since starting out. 4 or 5-0. They lost 3 or 4. The other game was a tie. I'm not the biggest CFL guy, but both these offenses, are well. I mean, if you got under the 50, it's really the 49 and under. I think it can creep over here. Maybe not crazy, but yeah, I like it, Mikey. Get it?
Shout out to our guy, Big Scott 510 in the house. He likes the Bengals first half plus 6. He's getting that at plus 105. There we go. Chris, beautiful. His Bears deep AF on talent. The Bears minus 3.5. It'd be fun to talk about. I thought about a little special football show. I don't know if you guys would be so inclined. I'll put a post out there with Joe T. We'll post something out there in the community show or the community tab to see if you guys would be interested. But trying to do some fun things this year for football as well. And not just to come out here on Sunday and tell you about there's definitely a place for the props and totals games. And we'll cover that stuff too, but different ways to skin the cat, as they say, C-Mac. C-Mac, one more time for the crew and the people. Talk to us about hitting the books, my dude. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. Just check it out. Hitting the Books YouTube channel. That's it. Go check it. Hit the sub. Hit the like. That's all I ask for after that. Come as you please. But check it out. I think throughout the year you will make some money on it. Gerardo, yeah, I like you got the 6.5 at least with the Colts. It's better than the Tutty.
I will say this, C-Mac.
Mine time.
We have the best.
So, my man.
We have the best thumbs up crew in the business. They all reside here at Sports Money. So I know they'll give you the thumbs up. They'll support the cause and check out the content. You guys work hard. You grind. You give them W's on the regular. And I love that you do it on a Monday because, sometimes, frankly, just after the weekend and then trying to get back in the groove of the new week, it's like I need to have a little decompression period where I can kind of look at it myself before I start to want to jump in. And the fact that you guys, the first ones to get that out to the market is fucking huge. It's a commitment to excellence that you guys are. And I appreciate you, my dude. Thank
Numbers will build. This show's too big. It'll grow on its own with our own channel. So That's it. I'm pumped.
Respect, my dude. What you got going on this weekend? You gonna pop it on the UFC stream and have some drunken debauchery with us?
Yeah, if I'm home, I'll be on. I won a ton of money with you guys this weekend.
We've been grinders, man. It's gonna be a ton of fun. You guys, we got First Strike out there. We got C-Mac in here, but you got to go back out there and check out what he's doing with hitting the books, man. We appreciate all you guys and girls. Peter, Gracia, we got Wine Time Sports, Old E, Joe T, Phil the Kill. Man, it's great to see you guys rocking. We're ramping, baby. We're getting just 2 weeks away from the NFL, just a couple days away from week 0, man. It's going to be a ton of fun. Justin McKelvey, good luck on the new addition to the family, my dude. Hope all is well in the land. Chrisella, Ramon, Scott, Scut Blaster, man. So many great names in the chat. Great to see all you guys. KV, Dustin, JPZ, Keith, each every.
And this is not an Angels hat for fucking Peasy, my guy. Come on.
Respect, you guys. Appreciate everybody. Good luck with your bets. Good luck with the plays.